Hot tea was served for Harada, Soma, and me. Soma didn't touch the tea, though, as he kept looking down somberly at the table.
I'm sorry about my outburst earlier. I guess I pegged you wrong from the start. Meh, don't sweat it. When we first met, it was all a big misunderstanding. Oh, well, back then, I didn't know anything. Today, I thought I had it all figured out. But as it turns out, I still knew nothing.
Soma sighed deeply, lost in the constellations of thought as he murmured his soft words.
The leaders and my colleagues in my domain only ever care about how others think of them. All the domain worries about is what the shogunate is up to, never trying to rock the boat. They are complacent in their work, but they never actually experience the world. That's why there's so much skeevery, and bribes are prevalent. No one does anything about it. All they worry about is protecting themselves. I mean, the reason I was sent to Kyoto and Osaka was to observe the shogunate and Sacho's battle for power. I have the intention of allying myself with a more advantageous group someday. But the Shinsengumi are different. All of you have a strong self-possession, and none of you let the words of others bother you or get in the way of your duties.
Soma's voice burned with passion, and the smoke from the tea flickered between him and Harada as the latter sipped his tea.
Boy, I didn't know we were on a tea date now, what with you making me blush over here.
The magic of Odongo, Harada.
There are many domains, and even more people with independent thoughts. Even each Shinsengumi warrior thinks differently. I'm not sure what it is you saw today, but there are so many kinds of people in the Shinsengumi. Not everyone joins us with good intentions. There are guys who live and die by the sword and spear, people who struggle to make ends meet, people desperate just to survive. There are people whose only skills are with an abacus, and this one here is only a page.
Me? Harada's sudden mention of me caught me off guard as he pointed towards my face. I guess I technically am a page, but...
This one is with us under special circumstances, but for now, this one serves as Hichikata's page. With all of that said, not everyone is either noble or chivalrous like a samurai should be. But I guarantee each man is a strong one. They charge forward, sword in hand, courage in heart. That kind of man belongs in the Shinsengumi. Yes, there are so many different positions, and I understand the circumstances that connect you. More importantly, I can see the heart behind what you all work to achieve in Kyoto. I'm envious of you guys.
Soma looked almost choked up by his words, and he adjusted himself to face us.
Harada, Yukimura. I want to be the kind of person who holds his head high as a warrior. No cowardice or fear. The type of warrior who is steadfast in his convictions, one who is honest and confident. I would love to be a noble warrior, just like all of you someday. Slow your roll, kid. Let's back it up. Why are you being so respectful all of a sudden? No. You see, I didn't know anything until now. Please forgive me for my attitude, Harada. What the hell are you talking about? There's nothing to forgive. Stop worrying about it.
Soma then turned towards me and bowed. We're so honorable and chivalrous, apparently.
You too, Yukimura. If you're Hichikata's page, I can sense that you have learned what it means to be a warrior with the Shinsengumi.
Huh? Ah?
Why don't we both aim to be great warriors as underlings?
Soma flashed his hopeful eyes towards me. How should I respond to this? Yeah, man, let's totally do it. Oh, no, don't worry about it. Let's work hard. Yeah, you and me together, man. I felt bad for seeming so aloof to him. Although I have no intentions or aspirations towards becoming a great warrior like Soma, he looked so serious that I couldn't kill the mood. So, even though I stretch the truth a little bit, it shouldn't be a problem? It'll become your conviction one day.
Aren't you happy? Your comrade here aspires to be a great warrior.
Harada, you don't have to laugh so hard.
Well, it's good for everyone to work their ass off, but for you, it can be outside of swordsmanship. I mean, everyone is cut out for different things.
Yes, I know.
Is swordsmanship not your thing, Yukimura?
Suddenly, Soma's hand reached towards my shoulder. Oh? Or my head? Okay, head and...
Ah, I see. You don't have much muscles on your shoulders or arms.
This poor boy, when he realizes he manhandled a girl.
It's so soft and gentle. It's almost like you're a girl.
Soma? He grabbed my shoulders and hands with more vigor and it started to tickle! Even though Soma had no idea what he was doing, it kind of felt embarrassing. Soma was oblivious to this and continued feeling up my arms, while Harada's just like sipping his tea with interest.
Although you're just a page, you're still a part of the Shinsengumi. I'm sure a time will come for you to draw your sword. I think you should train a little more, Yukimura.
Sure. I'll try my best. I looked at Harada, hoping he'd help me get out of the situation, but he only chuckled lightly, because I knew he would. Soma wouldn't stop asking about the Shinsengumi, and the more stories he heard, the more excited he became, waving energetically as he left us. He... had no clue I was a man, huh? You mean that you weren't a man?
Usually it only takes a touch or two to notice, but I guess he's as dumb as Heisuke and Shinpachi.
I suppose it was a good thing he didn't realize it was all a disguise, but wow! I hoped I still had some femininity left! We left again for the base! Chizuru! I think he squeezed all the femininity out of me. What a scandal. Poor Soma. Well, he'll figure it out one day. Maybe Chikage will let him know. Are you blind? Okay, new chapter though, so... let's take a look at things. 30%. Just had to feel up our shoulders and arms a bit. Alright, let's skip ahead and see when he'll show up again. Where are we in the stream of time? Oh, hey, Ito! And Miki, of course. Okay, so they're part of the crew now. Which means Sanan's going to turn. That'll be the next big thing. I assume we won't be involved with his transformation. It'll be like after the fact stuff again. Let's see. Yeah, I don't investigate nothing, so there's that. I just gotta wait to get there. Well, I think Shin and Heisuke would be very good friends with Soma, actually. Alright, flashback time, and then return to my room. Okay, and then we'll skip ahead. What's the next thing? Okay, I'm not going to stay with Toshi. That's a new one. I'm gonna go outside. Who's outside again? Was that, was that Hajime? Might be Hajime. That's outside. Can't remember for sure. Well, we'll find out soon enough. Alright, go outside. Oh, Harada, yeah. I think Hajime was in the courtyard or something like that. I guess it makes sense for spending time with this husbando. I assume I don't do it. We all wish for the same thing. Let's see. Yeah, I do the other one. That makes sense. I'll do his line before I say this.
And I hope he's the Sanan we all know. I guess I could be asking for too much, huh?
Yes, it might be asking for too much. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is asking for too much.
I know, huh?
Our conversation met a halt. Because Takada is, you know, creeping around like he does. Alright, so spend some time with Harada. That's interesting. Maybe Harada will be spending more time with Soma. And I just remember that there's that other guy. I can't remember his name, but, you know, the one that has the really pretty kimono kind of thing. The one that I gave Orion's voice to. Can't remember his name. We should be spending more time with him, hopefully. That'd be kind of nice, because I don't know too much about him. In fact, I know so little that I've forgotten his name completely, so there's that. Okay, so Sanan has changed. So what's the next thing? Probably, okay, so you're back. We're gonna meet our brother-sister. And then I think we go to the castle to meet the new shogunate? I'm pretty sure that's the order of things. Sen we meet fairly late. And what else is there? The doctor thing I think is later too. Yeah, I think I've got it. You would think playing through this enough times I would remember the remember the chain of events a little better? Nope. Okay, so we're gonna move out to the castle. What are we gonna do when we get there? Okay, so I go back with Yamazaki by the looks of things. Alright, that'll be the next thing I do. Always a pleasure, Miki. So maybe someone will be at the headquarters, but maybe not. He's not going to be here to save us, unlike Hachiro, which was pretty impressive. Although I could be wrong, he could just show up here, and we still run away. But I somehow doubt it. We're both too much of underlings to have major parts to play in these epic battles. Hey, Yamazaki. Okay, we're going back to headquarters. I'm gonna be good. And then I think I say but, because the other one is points with him. Yeah, but. Alright, who do I talk to? I talk to Heisuke. Okay. I don't need to know about Okita's illness. And yeah, that was kind of creepy, not gonna lie. And we're gonna have a confab with you for a bit. Okay. So that's all done. Man, we blitzed through that. Not a lot happened. So is the doctor here? Oh man. Okay, so now Matsumoto's here. Let's see. Looks like I'm not going to find out. Oh, that picture. Looks like I'm not going to find out about Okita's illness at all. Thank you, old bean. I appreciate you going to do that for me. Yeah, I'm going to do that's not any of my business stuff. Alright. We'll get there. This route might be extremely short, unless it really ramps up towards the end. Could happen. I was really surprised how much content there was in Hachiro's. It was like its own separate game, basically. There was so much. It took me very by surprise. So I came into this with like no expectations. Because I'm like, I'll probably be wrong. But so far it's been pretty quick, aside from one new scene that we've had so far. Alright, so we cleaned. There's the doctor. He's gonna talk to Okita. And it's not gonna be any of my business, so I'm gonna hang out with my demon boo and think about a certain something. I'll see what that is in a second. Okay, not any of my business. What do I think about this time around? Oh, I'm gonna think about my father. How How interesting. I would not have guessed that for Soma. I'm gonna think about my father. Okay. We'll think about our father. Our lovely, totally not evil father. Well, this is long. Does that mean we're getting a new scene September of 1866? Kinda seems like it. Slow fades all around. Yeah, alright. Well, let's see what this is. The Hamaguri Rebellion had created an even deeper rift between the shogunate and the Choshu. The shogunate was planning an expedition to punish the Choshu with military force. Thanks to the Choshu's retreat, the casualty count wasn't very large, but 2 years had passed since the Choshu expedition, and it was now September of 1866. The shogunate was planning a second offensive against the Choshu, gathering many soldiers to join the envoy.
With all of that said, I went to scope the status of the envoy, and it looks like the shogunate is well stocked with men. At the very least, we are certain that our forces greatly surpass those of the Choshu. Well, if we're going to war, having more soldiers is always a good thing, but numbers aren't enough this time. There are many who are opposed to this expedition, aren't there? Yes, it hurts me to say this, but the morale amongst the warriors is low. Hopefully this doesn't prove to be our Achilles heel.
Although the summer was drawing to a close, the intense heat made us moist with sweat. I'd brought tea to Hijikata's room, and I was listening to Kondo, who had just returned from accompanying and observing the expedition. Will the men of the Shinsengumi join the battle this time? Our role is to protect the streets of Kyoto. For others, supposedly it's better for them to leave Kyoto and participate in their battle.
That kinda sucks. Seems like the perfect chance for us to get to up our credentials.
Don't worry about it. There will be more opportunities in the future.
As opposed to Okita, who seemed bummed about not having to fight, I was a little relieved. I was sure that if I said this aloud, everyone would be angry with me, but being involved in a huge war seems like the easiest way to get everyone injured. Wow. That's very clever, Chizuru.
Regardless, we are certain there will be more conflicts in the near future. If something were to happen, I'm sure we will be called upon, so everyone keep on your toes.
As he said that, Kondo lit up as if he just remembered something.
Oh, that's right. While on location, I had the chance to see many things and people. As I was observing the Shogunate army, I was reunited with Soma.
A troop organized by the shogunate that employs the use of guns. Wow. Wait, the Soma? Wait, the one and only?
Who? Never heard of him.
Do you remember the person whom Heisuke brought over and argued with about the woodblock print?
Oh, not really. It didn't leave an impression that I'd remembered.
We had met Soma a long while ago while I was accompanying Harada on a round. Ooh, flashback. I still feel his touch at night.
It's so soft and gentle. It's almost like you're a girl. I think you should train a little more, Yukimura.
He had looked me straight in the eye, promising to work hard with me to become a great warrior. But I thought he'd returned to his domain. But why was Soma with the Shogunate army? I thought he was serving some other domain.
It looks as though he's left his domain. I mean, he didn't seem too thrilled to work under them. He was a fool for throwing away his chance to serve.
Hearing Hijikata, Kondo rushed to clarify.
It's not like that, Toshi. Even if every person was unhappy with their domain, only a few actually choose to change their path. You'd need some major reservations. Soma was saying his domain had no desire to fight for the shogunate. That's why he left. I think he's incredibly courageous for his age, especially for a youth like him in this time.
Well, his swordsmanship was subpar. According to Heisuke, some Ronin clocked him and he fell straight on his ass.
If we were to go by your standards, then nearly half the men wouldn't be impressive enough for you. Harsh truths. Anyways, Kondo, what happened to Soma afterwards?
I was so inspired by his convictions that I invited him to join the Shinsengumi. In terms of working under the shogunate, it's not much different to serving in the army if one joins the Shinsengumi, so that's why I asked him.
And what was his response?
Unfortunately, he seemed lukewarm to the idea. After all, the threat of war is upon us, so maybe he wants to defeat the Choshu first.
Defeat the Choshu, huh? Hopefully the expedition goes successfully. As if to justify Hijikata's worry, the second expedition resulted in a shogunate loss. The loss was the confluence of a few things. During the war, Iemochi Tokugawa passed away, confusing the shogunate's chain of command. The Choshu, too, were armed with advanced artillery, causing a huge gap between them and the shogunate in terms of arms and strategy. Soldiers grew weary from the battlefield, as well as from the commotion of their higher command. The shogunate, who were normally tasked with maintaining power, was disintegrating. It was a dark omen emerging like a cloud over the shogunate's uncertain future. And... okay, I'm like, are we back to normal, or is there more? With the second expedition coming to a close, the summer had come to an end. Yamazaki was helping me complete some errands, and we took some time to rest. Thank you so much for helping me with the cooking and laundry, Yamazaki. Best husband.
Please, it wasn't difficult at all. If I may ask, why were you doing the food preparation on your own? There should have been others here to take care of it today.
Oh, the people who were supposed to do the food prep today wanted to join Ito's seminar.
Ito, huh? Huh.
Yamazaki scratched his cheek. I could understand how he was probably feeling. It seemed like Ito and his supporters weren't following the rules and regulations well recently. As Nagakura would put it, they are seeding friction within the organization, which no one seemed too thrilled about.
Well, at this rate, we don't even know what they're talking about during their seminars.
I guess they're supposed to be talking about the Choshu expedition and everything that happened. Despite gathering warriors from all over the domains, the shogunate wasn't able to defeat the Choshu domain.
Shh!
He cut me off suddenly, and I stood there confused. Is something the matter, Yamazaki?
Do not avert your gaze. Listen to my voice. There is someone at the entrance watching us.
What? Yamazaki's line of vision seemed casual, but I saw him looking behind me. I couldn't see the location myself, but I did get the sense someone was there. Do you think they look threatening?
He looks like a Ronin. He's been pacing back and forth for a while now.
It's probably Soma.
He could be a spy, or...
Yamazaki was swift. I thought I saw him place his hand inside his pocket, but suddenly he kicked the floor and ran. Oh!
Whoa! Who are you? Name your affiliation this instant!
Before I'd even blinked, Yamazaki had already twisted the man's arms behind him and pointed his wakizashi towards him.
What? This is all a misunderstanding! I was just trying to make sure this really was the Shinsengumi headquarters.
Soma? His voice was stammering, but his face was familiar. When Soma's eyes caught mine, his face lit with excitement.
Yukimura!
What are you doing here?
Do you know him, Yukimura?
Yes, Kondo knows him as well. He is not a bad person.
Oh, you were a guest. I apologize for being so rough with you.
Yamazaki, you're incredible. Yamazaki let him go, and Soma finally sighed.
No. It was my fault for acting suspiciously.
But why were you walking back and forth in front of the headquarters? If you had approached us, we could have easily helped you find where you need to be.
Well, I didn't think the Shinsengumi would change their headquarters to a place like this, so I was confused. And besides,
Huh? Soma stuttered as if troubled by something, and he soon muttered himself into silence. I wonder if something had happened. Anyways, we'll lead you down to compound so that you can visit Kondo yourself.
I'm sure the captains will be delighted to see you. Maybe he has news. Yamazaki went to summon the others, and we waited for a while. Kondo, Hijikata, and Saito came into the common room shortly after.
It's been a while, Chief Kondo, Commander Hijikata, and Captain Saito. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, Soma. It's been a while since we last met. Yes, since the Shogunate army was stationed in Osaka, I decided to take a break and come by.
The Shogunate army, eh? I heard you suffered some serious losses during the last expedition.
Were you injured at all, Soma?
Oh.
Soma fell silent once more. He seemed hesitant to speak, but eventually he began to open up.
You see, I joined the Shogunate army and was able to participate in battle, but since I was put into the reserves, I didn't see much action.
Oh. That's unfortunate, but being on standby is part of your duty as a soldier.
I understand, and that's why I made sure to be prepared for battle at any second. However, it seemed like I was the only one who felt pride in his duty, whereas my peers did not. Many of the other men would say, "We've been spared," or "Thank goodness we don't have to fight," or "We should leave fighting for other men." Many seem to share this sentiment, and not just the warriors, but the captains as well.
Well, there isn't much you can do. Not everyone has what it takes to be a warrior. So, you've lost faith in the Shogunate army?
No, it wasn't that I've lost faith in them. But rather, I've been driven to anger. I wanted so badly to prove my mettle on the battlefield, even leaving my domain to join them. But in reality, it wasn't much different than before. I mean, maybe it just comes down to where I was stationed, but it was so...
As Soma vented his frustrations, his voice was quivering. We listened closely to his lamentation. Who could blame him? For him to make the effort to better himself and have it blow up in his face. I'm sure it was difficult for him to hold his head high while those around him acted shamefully.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to speak ill of my superiors, but...
There is no need to apologize. It's true one should not speak ill of them, but... I, too, have felt the same concerns as you. It seems that those who are loyal to the Shogunate are becoming fewer and far between.
Chief Kondo.
Soma, I understand where you're coming from. No matter how many times you sharpen your sword, if you can't use it, it is a waste. It sounds as though your crisis of faith comes from the question of whether or not you should still serve in the Shogunate army.
Yes, that's true. Should I continue to serve with them, or...
Soma cut himself off. He struggled to form words as his mouth shook.
Well, this is actually why I've come to you today.
He seemed to have made up his mind, and he turned proudly to face Kondo.
Chief Kondo, you kindly extended the offer to join the Shinsengumi to me, and I wanted to see what the Shinsengumi was about with my own eyes.
I see. So, what do you think of us now that you've spoken with us?
Normally, people who leave their domains are treated with contempt no matter where they go. We're looked at as traitors, and many times we are given the cold shoulder. However, I sense that this place was different.
Well, the Shinsengumi comes from all walks of life, and we are a haven to many outcasts. There are many like you who have left their domains. Look at me, my family weren't warriors. I had trouble finding acceptance in other places.
The Shinsengumi, though, have people from many backgrounds that can still serve the Shogunate, regardless of family or name. If I am to learn the way of the sword, I don't think I could find a better place than here.
Soma made his declaration proudly, looking the captain straight in the eye. Then he bowed deeply and prostrate.
Please, please allow me to become a member of the Shinsengumi.
Soma.
Soma, I want to ask one thing of you. What do you think defines a warrior?
Unfortunately, I don't know the answer to that. I'm still young and I'm figuring it out. However, I feel like I can discover the answer if I serve under the Shinsengumi. Ah, that's a good answer. We are still seeking to find the meaning ourselves. We have yet to truly understand what it means to be a warrior. That is why we work hard.
Kondo looked at Saito and Hijikata, who nodded to one another.
Very well. As the chief of the Shinsengumi, I will approve your enlistment.
Chief's page. He quit the shogunate army and joined the Shinsengumi. Nice.
Really?
Yes, but just because Kondo extended his offer to you doesn't mean we plan on going easy. If you want to become one of us, you need to give us your all, every single day. Every day until you can stand toe-to-toe with any one of us.
Soma beamed, barely able to contain his joy. It made me smile. These guys are all so pleasant towards him, it's nice.
What's the matter, Yukimura? Did you want to say something?
I was a little envious. I mean, true, we didn't exactly get treated this nicely, but no. Let's be happy for our boo, shall we? Oh, I am just happy for him.
That Soma joined the Shinsengumi?
Yes. I think it's wonderful for someone to find somewhere they belong.
Well, first we'll need to start you off as a member of one of our divisions. I wouldn't mind him joining my 3rd division.
Nice!
No, I already decided where to put him. I will have him as my page in training. I want you to work beside me to discover the path of becoming a true warrior. Great! I'll give it my all. Hey Yukimura, I know this is a big ask, but do you think you could pass on some of what you learned as Toshi's page to Soma?
Me?
Chief, are you sure? If he is to become your page, then you must have the utmost confidence in him and his abilities.
I have faith in him. I've been so exhausted running back and forth, so having someone to lend me a hand will be great. Besides, knowing him, I bet he'll be as good as Yukimura in no time.
Well, if you're so sure, Kondo, then I have no qualms with him as your page.
Kondo nodded and I turned towards Soma.
This means you're my teacher now. It's going to be an honor to work under you.
Teacher? I wasn't used to having power over anyone here, so being referred to in this way tickled me. You're so ticklish with this boy.
There's been another recent recruit named Nomura, and the both of you should learn from Yukimura on what it takes to be a page.
Nomura, that's right. Risaburo Nomura, Chief's page, a warrior that joined the Shinsengumi at the same time as Soma. Wait! Are you sure you want to be learning from someone like me, Soma?
Of course. Besides, now that you're my teacher, we'll be spending all our time together.
Well, let's figure out a lesson plan first. Was it okay for him to trust me as his teacher? Wow, she got over it pretty quickly. I have one question for you. Are you ready to be my disciple, Soma?
Yes, it's an honor, Yukimura.
Wow. Alright, we got a disciple.